Here's something that sounds impossible. Two groups of people ate the exact same total amount of protein every single day for a week straight. Not close. The exact same number of grams. Yet by the end of the study, one group had built 25% more muscle than the other. Same total protein. 25% more muscle-building activity. How? The only difference between the two groups was when they ate it. That single detail is at the heart of the #1 protein mistake adults over 60 make. And the wild part is, it has nothing to do with eating too little protein. Most people making this mistake think they're doing everything right. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what this mistake is, the university research that uncovered it, and the simple 3-step fix you can start using at your very next meal. Let's get into it. Here's the belief almost everyone over 60 walks around with. As long as my daily protein total adds up, say 60, 70, 80 grams, it doesn't matter how I get there. So the day looks like this: coffee and toast for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and then, at dinner, a generous piece of chicken, steak, or salmon. Because that's when real food happens. Light at breakfast, a little more at lunch, most of it loaded onto dinner. That's not a random pattern. It's actually the most common eating pattern in the United States. And for decades, mainstream nutrition advice treated it as totally fine, as long as the daily number checked out. Researchers at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston decided to actually test that assumption. And what they found changes the entire conversation. Here's the part almost nobody talks about. Your muscles can't save up protein the way your body stores fat. When you eat a huge portion of protein at dinner, your muscles can only use so much of it for actual repair in that sitting. The rest gets routed off for energy or other processes, not muscle. A research team led by Dr. Douglas Padden-Jones at UT Medical Branch put this to the test directly. They had participants eat identical total amounts of protein, but split into two patterns. One group spread their protein evenly across breakfast, lunch, and dinner, while the other skewed most of it toward the evening meal, mimicking typical American eating habits. The result, published in the Journal of Nutrition, the evenly distributed group had a 24-hour rate of muscle protein synthesis that was 25% higher than the skewed group. Same total grams for the day. Dramatically different results for the muscle. Now here's why this hits even harder after 60. As we age, our muscles develop something researchers call anabolic resistance. Basically, older muscle needs a stronger protein signal at each individual meal to actually switch on repair and rebuilding compared to younger muscle. Dr. Padden-Jones and his colleagues proposed something called a protein threshold. Roughly 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal seems to be the tipping point that meaningfully triggers muscle protein synthesis in older adults. Eat less than that at any given meal, and your body barely registers it for muscle maintenance, no matter how good dinner looks later that day. And don't assume the fix is just eating a massive meal once a day. A study out of the University of Arkansas compared adults over 60 eating 35 grams of protein in one meal versus 70 grams in one meal. Doubling the amount in a single sitting didn't double the muscle-building response. Your body has a ceiling on how much it can put to use at once. Meanwhile, researchers at Purdue University, led by Dr. Wayne Campbell, have shown something just as important on the total side. Older adults who eat only the standard recommended daily allowance of protein, 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, still tend to lose muscle over time, even while otherwise healthy. One Purdue study found that elderly women may need close to 29% more protein than that standard guideline just to hold on to their muscle. So you've got two things working against people over 60 at once. The standard protein guideline is likely too low to begin with, and however much you do eat tends to get dumped into one meal where your body can't fully use it. Let's make this real. Picture a typical day for someone who genuinely believes they're eating well. Breakfast: Black coffee, a slice of toast with jam, maybe 4 grams of protein. Lunch, a turkey sandwich and a side salad. Call it 16 grams. Dinner, a generous piece of salmon, vegetables, rice, 40 plus grams easily. Add it up. That's around 60 grams for the day. By the old way of thinking, that looks like enough. But look at the shape of it. Breakfast and lunch both sit well below that 30-gram threshold we just talked about, which means 2 out of 3 meals are doing almost nothing for muscle maintenance. Only dinner is pulling any real weight. And even then, the body can't use all 40-plus grams in one sitting. This is the actual mistake. It's not eating too little protein overall. It's eating it in the wrong shape, backloaded, skewed, and missing the mark at the meals that matter most. So what does this research actually tell you to do? 3 shifts. Number 1. Aim for roughly 25 to 35 grams of protein at each main meal, not just dinner. In real food terms, that's about 3 to 4 eggs, a cup of Greek yogurt with a handful of nuts, 4 ounces of chicken or fish, or a protein shake made with milk. Number 2. Fix breakfast first, because it's almost always the weakest link. Swap toast and coffee for eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a protein smoothie. Of everything on this list, this one change tends to move the needle the most, simply because breakfast is usually sitting at 0. Number 3, raise your daily target, not just your per-meal target. Based on the Purdue research, most healthy adults over 60 should be aiming closer to 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, meaningfully higher than the standard 0.8 gram guideline, which was designed to prevent deficiency, not to protect muscle as you age. For someone around 70 kilograms, or about 154 pounds, that works out to roughly 70 to 85 grams a day, spread across 3 or 4 meals instead of stacked onto one. One more detail the research keeps pointing to: protein quality matters. Foods rich in an amino acid called leucine, eggs, dairy, meat, fish, and soy, appear to be especially effective at flipping that muscle-building switch in older adults. So between a plant-based protein bar with 8 grams and a cup of Greek yogurt with 20, the yogurt is doing more work for your muscle. And if you want to multiply the benefit, pair this even protein distribution with resistance exercise, even just body weight squats or light dumbbells 2 or 3 times a week. The protein gives your muscles the raw material. The resistance training gives them a reason to actually use it. So here's the one thing to take away from today. Stop asking, how much protein did I eat today? And start asking, how much protein did I eat at this meal? Hit that 25 to 35 gram mark at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you'll likely do more for your muscles at 60, 70, or 80 than most people do, eating double the total grams the wrong way. If this changed how you'll eat tomorrow morning, subscribe for more research-backed videos on healthy aging. And tell me in the comments, what does your breakfast actually look like right now? I read every single one. See you in the next video.